Okay, one more example of solving these equations where you have a variable on either side of the equal sign. Now, I picked this particular question for a specific reason because I want you to see that even though what we want to know is what is y equal to, we don't have to get y on its own on the left-hand side. We could equally, it would be just as good to get y on its own on the right-hand side. So I'm going to do this in a slightly different way. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, I'll leave my equal to sign here, I'm going to try and get rid of my minus 1 from the right hand side, and we already know to do that I'm going to have to add 1 because the plus 1 and the minus 1 will give me 0. But if I do that to this side, I must do the same to the other side. So 2y minus 1, and I'm going to add 1 or plus 1, and over here y plus 7, and I have to plus 1 as well here. Okay, so I did the same thing to both sides. Now I'm just going to tidy up a little bit. 2y is here on its own. The minus 1 and the plus 1 cancel each other out, or they give you 0 if you like. So I don't have to write down nothing here, or 0. I can just leave it blank and leave it as 2y. And over here, the 7 and the 1, I can put the plus 7 and a plus 1 together to give you a plus 8. Okay, so next step then, what I want to do is, I want to get the 8 on its own on this side, or in other words, I want to get rid of this y from this side. So in order to do that, just like when I was getting rid of the minus 1, I put in the plus 1. If I want to get rid of a plus y, I need to put in a minus y. So I'm going to say y minus y, I'm going to put the minus y in between the y and the 8, plus 8 equal to 2y, and if I put a minus y on this side, I have to put a minus y on the other side also. Okay, and then it's a matter of tidying up again. So we already said y take y, or y minus y gives you 0, so I don't have to put anything in for 0. I'm just left with a plus 8, and I can leave out the sign because 8 is the same as plus 8. And 2y take y, or in other words 2y take 1y, leaves me with 1y. So now I have 8 equal to y, or if I read it from this side, y is equal to 8. And that's fine. Yeah, that's the end of my sum really. I figured out what y was equal to. If you like, then you can just write it in this way. Y is equal to 8. Now, just one last thing then. The reason that I wanted to get y on this side in this case was because if I had brought a 2y over to this side, or in other words, if I had tried to get rid of the 2y from the right hand side, I would have had to put in a minus 2y. And if I put a minus 2y on this side with the plus y, I would have ended up with a negative y on this side instead of a positive y. And sometimes to avoid that, I get my letter on the right hand side instead of the left hand side.